क्या चे तुम्हारा एने ची औषधि माया नसीबारु लागी हरि नाम महामंत्रा लावो तुम्ही मागी एनेची औषधी माया नसीबारु लागी हरि नाम महामंत्रा लावो तुम्ही मागी भक्ति विनोदा प्रभु चरणे परिया सेई हरि नाम मंत्रा लुइलो मगिया भक्ति विनोदा प्रभु चरणे परिया सेई हरि नाम मंत्रा लोइलो मगिया हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय प्रभुपदा श्रीला प्रभुपदा हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा माताजी थैंक यू माताजी
Thank you so much, Madhu, for the wonderful Kirtan. You have sung very nicely, and this is such a beautiful song.
Thank you, Mataji.
Very nice. Bhuvana Devi Mataji, shall we start the session?
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. So, Hare Krishna, Prabhus and Matajis, please accept my humble obeisances. So, let us start our today's session with the invocation mantra.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakayam Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurube Namaha Nigamakalpatarorgalitam Phalam Sukamukadamrita Bipata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Muhurako Rasika Bhuvibhavukaham Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayam Budirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Hum karoti vachalam pangam nangayate kirim yakripatamakham vande Shri Kurunti Nadarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. So, So we are in the fourth canto and in the session of Prithu Maharaj instructions. I have to start from okay, so yesterday you have completed till 27. Hope we have completed till 27. So we have to start from 28. Anyway, both these verses are actually the continuation. So let us start from the translation of this verse 27 and we'll move on to the today's session. So, yeah, Sindhumarji, could you read the translation of this verse, 27th verse?
Yes, Mataji. Sloka?
Just a translation.
Okay. 27, translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear respectable ladies and gentlemen, according to the authoritative statements of Shastra, there must be a supreme authority who is able to award the respective benefits of our present activities. Otherwise, why should there be persons who are unusually beautiful and powerful both in this life and in the life after death?
Okay. So could we continue the next session also? Next sloka. So we can actually start with the sloka and the translation. Okay.
Shall I continue,
4.3.
Mataji, or someone else?
Yeah, you can continue the sloka because you didn't get a chance to read the sloka.
Thank you, Mataji.
You'll read the
28,
sloka. Yeah, this
28,
28 and
29.
29. Yeah. Okay, could you please repeat after me?
Yeah.
Yes, Maji, thank you. Manor Utthana Padasya
Manor Utthanapadasya
Dhruvasyapi Mahipatehi
Dhruvashyapi Mahipatehe
Priyavritasya Rajarishi
Priyavratasya Rajarshit
Angasyasmat Pituh Pituhu
Angasya Yasmat Pitu Pitu
Yidrishanam Hathan Yesam
Idrishanam Atanyesham
Ajasya Cha Bhavasya Cha
Ajashya Cha Bhavashya Cha
Prahaladasya Baleshapi
Prahaladasya Baleshapi
Krityamasti Gatha Brita.
Krityam Asti Gadabhrita.
We read the translation.
Translation. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This is confirmed not only by the evidence of the Vedas, but also by the personal behavior of great personalities like Manu, Uttanapada, Dhruva, Priyavrita, and my grandfather Anga, as well as by many other great personalities and ordinary living entities exemplified by Maharaja Prahalada and Bali, all of whom are theists, believing in the existence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead who carries a club. Purport. Narottama Das Thakura states that one has to ascertain the right path for his activities by following in the footsteps of great saintly persons and books of knowledge under the guidance of a spiritual master, Sadhu Shastra Guru Vakya. A saintly person is one who follows the Vedic injunctions, which are the orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The word Guru refers to one who gives proper direction under the authority of the Vedic injunctions and according to the examples of the lives of great personalities. The best way to mold one's life is to follow in the footsteps of the authorized personalities like those mentioned herein by Prithu Maharaja, beginning with Swayambhuva Manu. The safest path in life is to follow such great personalities, especially those mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The Mahajanas or great personalities are Brahma, Lord Shiva, Narada Muni, Manu, the Kumaras, Prahalad Maharaja, Bali Maharaja, Yamaraja, Bhishma, Janaka, Shukadeva Goswami, and Kapila Muni. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay. So here, Prithu Maharaja is giving the instruction to all the citizens. Okay. So here he is actually, the previous verse, he confirmed that there is a superior person for above us. So because the people should be, because as a responsible person, he should actually develop the God consciousness to his dependents. So he is a king. So in order to develop the God consciousness to the people, he is actually insisting the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he is actually continuing his verdict that this is not only his words, it is already given in the Vedas, because the Vedas are telling that there is a Supreme Personality, Supreme Controller is there. And the Acharyas mentioned here, the Mahajanas, they also actually accepted the words in the Vedas and they followed the instructions given in the Vedas in their life. So the examples are given like Manu, Uttanapada, Dhruva, Priyavrata. These are all the examples. And my grandfather Anga. So he very specifically mentioned that till the ancestors also actually, his ancestors also followed the Vedas very perfectly. Okay. And Maharaja Prahalad and Bali. So exemplified Maharaja Prahalada and Bali. So because they are not actually born from a pious family, because they all actually, they both belong to the demoniac family. But even though they both was actually in the lowest category, but they advanced very well. They become a very great devotee of the Lord. So they are really very exceptional case considered to these other members, because they are actually, their birth is actually, means their birth is a favorable atmosphere for them, because that is actually very much needed. If the factors around us are very much supporting, then automatically it help one to advance or progress in the spiritual path. Okay. So in that way, the others are actually, their atmosphere, their birth, their ancestors are very much favorable to the spiritual life. So they advanced very quickly. But even though the atmosphere, even though was not that much pleasurable or favorable to these two personalities like Maharaja Prahalad and Bali Maharaj, but actually they achieved the perfection. So they are a special case and believing in the existence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the God realization is very much important. Even our one of the Acharya, as mentioned in the purport, Narottama Das Thakura, every day we are actually singing this song. That is Guru Mukha Batma Vakya Chitete Kurya Akya. Means we should always Guru Mukha, the words of our Guru, the lotus, which is actually coming from the lotus mouth of the Guru, we should always think that words in our mind, and we should actually act according to his instructions. So that is very much important to progress in our life. So that is actually here, the Narottama Das Thakura is actually insisting about the importance of accepting the Guru and the significance of following his instructions. Okay, Sadhu, Shastra, both are actually very much important. First, we have to accept the Vedas, and we should have a faith on the Lord, and we should accept the Vedas. Why we have to accept the Vedas? The question is, the Vedas are actually the words of the Lord. That is not actually written by the ordinary people. That is not actually created by the worldly people. The Vedas are actually formed by or framed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. So we should actually accept the Vedas. Then sadhus and Guru Vakya. Sadhus means one who is, the definition for sadhu is given in the purport itself. Like those who are actually following the Vedas, follow the instructions, Vedic injunctions in their life. So they are actually falling under sadhu category. Okay, they will accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead and they are following these instructions perfectly in their life. And the third one is Guru Vakya. And without Guru, we cannot actually approach the Lord directly because we are not qualified at all. Guru is actually, it is nicely described, the position of Guru in all the Vedas. he is actually the merciful, mercy personified, or the administrator, or he is a representative. Like different words are actually given to glorify the spiritual master. So to connect with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we need a mediator, we need a helper. So without his assistance, we cannot actually understand the words in the Vedas. So we need a supporter, one who knows, the one who are actually the realized soul. They can only explain. See, in the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, when we are actually talking about, when we are thinking about the conversation between Pragasananda Saraswati, one of the greatest Mayavadi philosopher, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So actually, Pragasananda Saraswati was asking to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, see, you have taken sannyasa, and particularly he has taken the sannyasa order from one of the Mayavadi guru only, that is Keshav Bharati. So he is asking that you have actually taken sannyasa from our sector, but you are not actually following the sannyasi as a real sannyasi, because according to their section, they have to read the Vedas and they have to discuss about it and they have to argue about the Vedas and Vedanta Sutras. But you are not actually reading the Vedas and you are not actually preaching about the Vedas. You are simply chanting the mantra and you are dancing, doing kirtan and all. So why you are doing so? When he was actually asked by Pragasananda Saraswati in that way, so he says that my Guru Maharaj strictly told me that this Hare Krishna mantra, actually the purpose of all the, I'm just simplifying the content, the Vedanta Shudra means the essence of all the Veda is to develop the love of Godhead. So I am not actually that much intelligent. So my spiritual master told me to chant this Maha Mantra, and you are already in that state, means you already achieved the prema, the love of Godhead. So you need not actually study all the Vedas. Simply you continue this holy name chanting, that is enough, because you are already in that platform. So my Guru Maharaj actually told me to do that one. That's why I'm doing this. So this was the answer given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Pragasananda Saraswati. So the words of the Guru is very, very important. Through his words, he is telling that we have to accept the Guru and we should follow the instruction of the Guru perfectly. Okay. So here also, Prithu Maharaj actually mentioned that to understand the Vedas, we should actually try to follow the exemplaries, like the examples are given here, the life of Manu, Uttanapada, Dhruva, and Priyavrata. And all these Mahajanas or devotees' biography, their lifestyle, how they actually led their life, all these things are actually mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. So we need not actually refer different books to understand their lifestyle. If we simply study the Srimad Bhagavatam carefully with satsanga, with the devotees, then automatically the truth will be revealed to us by the mercy of our Guru and by the mercy of the Vaishnavas. So the best way to mold one's life is to follow the footsteps of authorized personalities. So if we understand their life clearly, then automatically we will follow that instructions. Okay. So here Prithu Maharaj also insisting that he actually started from Swayambhuva Manu. There are 12 Mahajanas. The personalities are mentioned by the Vaishnava Acharyas. So the list is actually given below. It started with Swayambhuva Manu. Okay, Brahma, Lord Shiva, Narada Muni, Manu, the Kumaras, Pragalad Maharaj, Bali Maharaj, Yamaraj, Bhishma, Janaka, and Sukadeva Goswami, and Kapila Muni. So these are 12 Mahajanas. All their history, all their lifestyle, and how they actually accepted the devotional service, how they actually followed the devotion in their life is actually given in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. So just by connecting ourselves regularly, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya is more than enough to understand this procedure. Let us move on to the next verse, 21.30. Archana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. So could you repeat after me?
Yes,
Dauhitra Dinrite Mrityoha.
Dauhitradin Nritte Mrityoha.
Sochyan Dharma Vimohitan.
Sochyan Dharma Vimohitan.
vargasvargapavarganam
Vargasvargapavarganam
prayenaikatmya hetuna.
Prayenaikatmaya Mahetuna.
Sorry.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Although abominable persons like my father Vena, the grandson of death personified, are bewildered on the path of religion, all the great personalities like those mentioned agree that in this world the only bestower of benediction of religion, economic development, sense gratification, liberation, or elevation to heavenly planet is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport. King Vena,
Mataji.
the father of
Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
ma'am.
Yeah. Amaji, instead of reading the whole purport, so whatever actually I am coloring, no, so just read out that portion.
Okay, Mataji.
Okay, just yeah,
Atheists
continue.
are of the opinion that there is no need to accept the authority of Supreme Personality of Godhead to be successful in the religion, economic development, sense gratification, or liberation. According to them, dharma or religious principles are meant to establish an imaginary God to encourage one to become moral, honest, and just so that the social orders may be maintained in peace and tranquility. Furthermore, they say that actually there is no need to accept God for this purpose, for if one follows the principles of morality and honesty, that is sufficient. May I continue, Mataji?
Yeah, please, Mataji.
Similarly, if one makes nice plan and work very hard for economic development, automatically the result of economic development will come. Similarly, sense gratification also does not depend on the mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead. For if one earns enough money by any process, one will have sufficient opportunity for sense gratification. If so far as liberation is concerned, they say that there is no need to talk of liberation because after death, everything is finished. Prithu
Thank you,
Maharaja,
Yeah.
thank you. Hare
Yeah,
Krishna Mataji.
Mataji, you have to continue. Let us discuss about this, then we'll move on to the further the purport. Okay. So in this verse, 1 minute. Okay. So in this verse, Prithu Maharaj say that his father is very much abominable, Vena, because the grandson of death personified or bewildered by the path of religion because he didn't follow the religious principle perfectly. Okay, the above mentioned personalities were there. Actually, we can actually learn from them, but he actually refused. He didn't actually agree their lifestyle and he followed in his own way. So those who are actually following whimsically according to their will, they will actually fall under this category, Vena category. They are actually atheist, means they are not accepting the supremacy of the Lord. So they are actually claiming that we are generally using this word atheist. So the definition of atheist is given in the purport. Prabhupada nicely explained that the atheists are actually having the opinion. So generally, the people actually to achieve the perfect state, they have to actually follow certain stages. The 4 stages are mentioned in the Shastras, means dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So dharma means they have to follow the religious principle. Okay, but the atheist having the opinion that, see here it is mentioned that they need to accept the authority. There is no need to accept because they don't believe in the supremacy of the Lord. So they are actually claiming that they no need to follow the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be successful in religion. So religion means what actually? What is religion? Can anyone say? What is religion?
Dharma.
The law
What is
and
it?
order established by the Lord.
Yeah, Dharma, the Sanatana.
Okay, means if they don't believe in God, means then where will this religion will come? But here they are claiming that to successful in religion, they need not to follow the Supreme's instruction, Supreme order. So what does it mean? According to their faith, different peoples are worshipping different types of demigods. Okay, so there is actually even in the Srimad Bhagavatam 2nd canto, there are scheduled incarnations, means there are prescribed gods are actually given. Scheduled incarnation of the Lord is clearly mentioned. If we actually study the Shastras, if we actually try to connect ourselves with the Acharyas, then only the Vedic instructions will be, the knowledge will be actually reflected, or it will be imported to us. Okay, if they are not connecting and if they don't have faith in the Acharyas, if they are not ready to connect themselves with the Shastras, then whatever they think that this is a religion and this is the right thing and this is the righteous order or law, they will follow that according to their desire. So, see, in order to actually achieve our faith, there is no need to actually follow the standard rules and regulations which are mentioned in the Shastras. This is their first point. It is today first point. Then the second one is economic development. Okay, and the third one is sense gratification and liberation. So here, see, the first, this imaginary God to encourage one to become moral. They can actually imagine, they can worship anything and everything, whatever they want. They don't actually follow the Shastras. That is their first claim. And the second one is to become moral and honest, just so that social orders may be maintained in peace and tranquility. Simply by honest and being actually more for morality, okay, means they will actually say that whatever they have in their mind, they will think that that is the righteous attitude. Actually, the activity, whatever we are performing, which should be justified under the Shastras, Shastrical injunctions, okay, because a certain activity, what we are doing, is seems to be right for me, but it should not be right for the opposite person. So we should always actually justify our actions under the Shastras. But here they are actually claiming that we need not actually follow the Shastras. We should actually be honest and morality. We should follow that social order. Okay, by doing like that, we can actually maintain peace and tranquility. That is what happening in the present life, because people are actually, they don't have knowledge about the Shastras and they are actually trying to maintain peace in the society. But what we are experiencing, are we leading a peaceful life? No. So that is what happening. The modern society is like full of atheists because they are not ready to follow the instructions given in the Shastras. So this is their second claim. And the third one is, if one follows the principles of morality and honesty, that is sufficient. Third one is, if one makes nice plans and works very hard for economic development, automatically the result of economic development will come. So this is also the faith of many people. If you work hard, automatically we will get the result. Why we have to actually worship the God? Why we need the mercy of the God? So if you work hard, automatically you will get the result. But that is not actually the real one. Hope you all will agree. Okay, that's a third one. This is their belief, the third belief. And the fourth one, this is similarly, if we are actually getting everything by working hard, then automatically we will get the tendency to enjoy ourselves, gratify our senses. So sense gratification will be there. So economic development will be achieved and the sense gratification will also be achieved. And the fourth one is liberation. Why to think of liberation after our death? Let us actually enjoy this life fully and let us finish this life fully. So this is their concept, okay, the atheist belief. Those who don't believe in the supremacy of the Lord. But what Prithu Maharaja says, yeah, Marj, could you continue?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah.
Prithu Maharaja, however, did not accept the authority of such atheists, headed by his father, who was the grandson of the death personified. Generally, a daughter inherits the qualities of her father, and a son gets the qualities of his mother. Thank
you, Mataji. So, Prithu Maharaj did not accept this policy. Means he is actually against the atheist. Okay, because he has a strong faith on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But unfortunately, his father, Vena, didn't accept the religious principle. So the reason given is because he was the grandson of death personified. Okay. So Ajantali means Mrityu's daughter is the mother of King Vena. Okay. So automatically, as per Shastras, the daughters have the same quality of her father, and the son has the same quality of his maternal relationship, like either his mother or his maternal uncle, like that. So in that case, so the Sunita, the mother of King Vena, she is actually the daughter of Mrityu. So because of that, she possesses a lot of bad qualities, and unfortunately, King Anga got married her, and because of her, because not only because of her son, because of his past sinful deeds also, he couldn't get the son in the beginning. Okay, that is also mentioned in the beginning of the 4th chapter. Okay, so the next thing is, Madhuri, could you read this one, modern civilization?
Yes, Mataji. Modern civilization agrees with the principles of King Vena, but factually, if we scrutinizingly study all the conditions of religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation, we must accept the principle of the authority of Supreme Personality of Godhead. According to Vedic literature, religion consists only of codes of law given by the God. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you. So, as we discussed earlier, the modern civilization, most of the people believes in these principles only. Okay, they don't believe in God, and they are actually thinking that whatever we want, we can do it, because they don't have knowledge about this paba and punya and karma. So they are actually doing according to their desire. And the second thing is the economic development, as mentioned before. Like if we actually work hard, then automatically we will get the result. Why we have to actually think about the God? Why we have to worship the God? Like that. They don't have that much God conscious. So the modern civilization is like that. But according to the Vedic literature, the religion consists only the codes of law given by God. So why we have to worship the God? The reasons are given. Okay, as per the atheist philosophy, if you work hard, if you achieve the economic development, and if we can actually gratify our senses, we can enjoy this life nicely without studying the Vedas and without connecting ourselves with the sadhus. What is the loss? Why we have to do that? The reasons are given. Okay, first we have to analyze our atmosphere. Okay, if both the persons, see, the example is given. Madhu, could you read out this one?
Yes, Mataji. It is generally found that even if two men have the same moral standards of ethics, honesty, and morality, their positions are still not the same. Similarly, in economic development, it is seen that if two men work very hard day and night, still the results are not the same. One person may enjoy great opulence without even working, whereas another person, although working very hard, does not even get two sufficient meals a day. Similarly, in matter of sense gratification, sometimes who has sufficient food is still not happy in his family affairs, or sometimes is not even married. Whereas another person, even though not economically well off, has the greatest opportunity for sense gratification.
This we are actually experiencing. Some people are working very hard, but they are not getting as much as money. Some people, they are actually not that much endeavor is there, but still they are actually getting easily. They are actually living a luxurious life. So from actually seeing all these things, by analyzing all these things, we should actually come to know that this is not actually happening by our endeavor. So someone else is there to take care of all these activities. That is a general understanding. Those who are intelligent, they will come to that understanding. But if you are not accepting the real fact, then we have to go through these sufferings. So that is clearly mentioned in the purport by Srila Prabhupada. So it's general. We are actually seeing these things, these factors around us. So, but actually, even though by seeing all these things, if we are not actually understanding that supremacy of the Lord, then that is our misfortune. Okay, so the sufficient food is still there. Similarly, the matter of sense gratification. So again, the family. So those who are actually in the rich category community, can we say that there is no disease, or they don't feel any sadness, they don't feel any pain in their life? Can we actually say like that? No.
No, Mataji.
No, actually, compared to the poor people, the rich people are actually suffering more. They have a lot of anxieties. They have to face a lot of problems in their life, challenges in their life than these people, the poor people. So the poor people actually, they are having a very simple, peaceful life. And even their son or actually also the son and daughters, even the children are also very polite, and they are actually be very honest compared to the rich people. Okay, so the atheist philosophy is completely false. From this we can understand. Okay, and the final one is, see, Prithvi Maharaj, the conclusion is
Prithu
this.
Maharaja therefore indicated that in spite of having rich parents, children are sometimes not happy. Similarly, in spite of valuable medicine administered by the competent physician, sometimes a patient dies. Or in spite of having a big safe boat, sometimes a man drowns. We may thus struggle to counteract impediments offered by material nature, but our attempts cannot be successful unless we are favored by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Marji. So this is the conclusion. Even though a child actually born from the rich parent, we cannot claim that the child will be happy throughout his life. So there is no guarantee at all. Similarly, even the valuable medicine is given to the patient. Again, there is no guarantee that the person will survive because of that medicine. Okay. Again, if you can actually travel in a safe boat, again, there is no guarantee that he will reach the destination in the right way. So all these things, we can actually plan everything, but the sanction is under the control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the real truth, whether we are accepting it or not, but that is the real one. So the God consciousness is important. That's what here Prithvi Maharaj actually insisted. Okay. So let us move on to the next verse, text 31. Who is going to read, Mataji?
Can I read, Mataji?
Yeah, Raksha, please, Mataji. Yeah. Yat pada seva viruchis tapasvinam
Yat pada seva viruchistapasvinam
asesha janmopachitam malam diyaham
ashesha janmopachitam malam diyah
sadyakshinotyandvaham etati sati
Chatya chinotya anvaham edhati sati
yata padangusta vinikshruta sarit
yatha padangustha vinishrita sarit. Can I read the translation?
Yes, Mataji.
Translation: by the inclination to serve the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, suffering humanity can immediately cleanse the dirt which has accumulated in their minds during innumerable births, like the Ganges water which emanates from the toes of the lotus feet of the Lord. Such a process immediately cleanses the mind, and thus spiritual or Krishna consciousness gradually increases. Hare Krishna Mataji. Can I continue to purport or?
Yeah, please continue the purport, Mataji. We have time.
Okay. Thank you. Purport. In India, one can actually see that a person who takes a bath in Ganges water daily is almost free from all kinds of diseases. A very respectable Brahmana in Calcutta never took a doctor's medicine. Even though he sometimes felt sick, he would not accept medicine from the physician, but would simply drink Ganges water, and he was always cured within a very short time. The glories of Ganges water are known to Indian and to ourselves also. The river Ganges flowed by Calcutta. Sometimes within the water there are many stool and other dirty things which are washed away from neighboring mills and factories. But still thousands of men take bath in the Ganges water and they are very healthy as well as spiritually inclined. That is the effect of Ganges water. The Ganges is glorified because it emanates from the toes of the lotus feet of the Lord. Similarly, if one takes to the service of the lotus feet of the Lord or takes to Krishna consciousness, he is immediately cleansed of the many dirty things which have accumulated in their innumerable births. We have seen that in spite of very black record of their past lives, person who take to Krishna consciousness become perfectly cleansed of all dirty things and make spiritual progress very swiftly. Therefore, Prithu Maharaj advises that without the benediction of the Supreme Lord, one cannot make advancement either in so-called morality, economic development, or sense gratification. One should therefore take to the service of the Lord or Krishna consciousness and thus very soon become a perfect man as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Chipram bhavati dharmatma shashvak shantim Nigachyati. Being a responsible king, Prithu Maharaj recommends that everyone take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and thus be immediately purified. Lord Sri Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita that simply by surrendering unto him, one is immediately relieved of all sinful reactions. As Krishna takes away all the sinful reactions of a person immediately upon his surrender unto him, similarly the external manifestation of Krishna, the representative of the Krishna, who acts as the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, takes all the resultant action of the sinful life of the disciple immediately after the disciple's initiation. Thus, if the disciple follow the principles instructed by the spiritual master, he remains purified and is not contaminated by the material infection. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore stated that the spiritual master who plays the part of Krishna's representative has to consume all the sinful reactions of his disciple. Sometimes a spiritual master takes the risk of being overwhelmed by the sinful reactions of the disciples and undergoes a sort of tribulation due to their acceptance. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore advised that one not accept many disciples. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. So, here the procedure is given. Like Prithu Maharaj further continues that, like the Ganges, the spiritual masters are actually serving as Ganges. Like the Ganges is very pure because it actually touches the lotus feet of the Lord. So even though the people in the material world are actually contaminating, spoiling the Ganges water, still we are actually considered, it remains pure. We are not considering, it remains pure because it is transcendental, because it touches the lotus feet of the Lord. So that's why, so those who are actually taking bath regularly in the Ganges water, they will actually, their sins will be purified. It's not only internally purifying, it is actually, it purifies the external body also. Okay, the internal purification is it removes our sinful reactions and it purifies our heart. It actually helps to actually elevate our consciousness, the Ganges water. But here it is, the example is given that even if you are diseased, like the bodily disease or the mental disease, both, that will be removed by taking bath in the Ganges water. Okay, we need not actually go for the medicine because the respectable Brahmana, the example is given in Calcutta, he never actually approached the doctor for his body. So he used to actually take bath or consume the Ganges water regularly. Simply by actually taking the Ganges water, his disease will be cured. So the example is given. So similarly, taking snan in the Ganges water, the Shastras are telling that it purifies our consciousness also, and it will help us to, it actually diminish, annihilate all our sinful reactions. So the Ganges water is that much pure. Similarly, the spiritual master, they are actually compared as Ganges. Okay, they are actually the authorized representative of the Lord. They are administrators, like demigods. They are actually helping the people, those who are in the condition level, to actually progress in their life. They are enlightening the people, those who are in the mode of ignorance. Because in the beginning, we are saying that Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya. So we actually born with ignorance. Our ignorance will be removed only by the mercy of the spiritual master. So spiritual masters are actually the merciful form of the Lord. Okay. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that whoever actually surrender unto me, I will remove their sins. Sarva dharman parityajya mam yekam sharanam raja aham tvam sarva papepyo moksha isyami masuchaka. If you actually surrender unto me, I will remove all your sinful reactions. So there is no doubt in that. In many times, he actually given us the guarantee that simply by accepting his supremacy, janma karma chame divyam evam yoveti tatvadaha. Tyaktva deham punarjanma naitima metisu Arjuna. Simply accepting that my janma and my activities are transcendental. And if you believe that, and if you accepted and followed my instructions, then you need not to take birth again in this material world. This guarantee is given by the Lord in the Bhagavad Gita. Again, in another verse, like in many verses, he actually mentioned that if you actually surrender unto me, like Devihi Yesha Gunamayi, Mama Maya Duratyaya, Mam Yevaye Prapatyante, Maya Metam Tarantite. Yeah, this material world is actually consumed, it is actually occupied by these three modes of material nature. And this is my energy only, and it is difficult to overcome. But who can actually easily cross beyond it? Those who actually surrender to the Supreme Personality. Okay. Mama Maya Duratyaya, Mam Yevaye Prabatyande. If you surrender unto me, Maya Metam Tarandite. It is easy for you to cross over this material world. And again, another example is given. Shipram Bhavati Dharmatma Saswat Chantim Nigachati. So, if one accepts the Krishna consciousness, if one is ready to follow, ready to accept the supremacy of the Lord and ready to follow the instructions of the Lord, then automatically, whichever condition the person is in, the Lord will actually take care of that person. We can actually, I think in the last session, we have seen that the hunter and Narada Muni, I don't know whether in this class or some other class. So in that, hope you all know about the hunter and Narada Muni. The hunter was actually very much ignorant that Mrigari, the hunter, he used to actually kill the animals in halfway. He don't even actually kill fully. He will actually kill the animals halfway, and the animals will actually suffer. They will it because they are not actually, it is not fully killed, so it will actually make them to pain, too much pain to them. It will create too much pain to them. So they will actually make a lot of noise, and we can actually understand their condition. Simply by seeing them, we will come to know that, okay, they are actually suffering. So by seeing the condition, the pitiful condition of the animals, the Narada Muni actually met Mrigari, and he told that why you actually left the animals like that, they are actually suffering a lot. So you can actually, in that case, you can actually kill them directly instead of actually half killing. So he told that, then finally he told that you are doing actually Papa. He doesn't know, he doesn't have any knowledge about all these things. He simply followed the instructions of his father. His father told to do like that, so he is simply following those activity. So then after the instruction or guidance of Narada Muni, his life fully changed. So even though actually he has actually taken birth in the degraded family, and he doesn't even know anything about the Shastras and the culture and everything, but because of the association of Narada Muni, and immediately he accepted his words and followed his instructions, it actually made him to elevate to the higher level. So that's what Shipram Bhavati Dharmata Sashvat Shantim. We can get the mercy of the Lord through our spiritual masters. So the spiritual masters are actually the merciful personified, like they possess a lot of mercy in them. So related to that, there is a mercy manifestation of the supreme person. Okay, in Srimad Bhagavatam 3.31.16. In that purport, Prabhupada mentioned that there is no possibility of once being situated in his own position unless he is blessed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One's own position means what? We are the eternal servant of the Lord. So in order to achieve that position, we cannot actually achieve by our own endeavor. Okay. Without the mercy of the spiritual master, one cannot actually attain that understanding. Unless he is enlightened with the supreme knowledge, blessed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Unless he is enlightened with the supreme knowledge, one has to undergo the severe penalties of the hard struggle for existence in the material nature. So if we don't have the real knowledge, if we don't get the real knowledge, then it is difficult for us to come out from this material existence. Only the right knowledge will actually take us in the right path. If we don't have the right knowledge, then we cannot actually come out from this material existence. So the spiritual master is therefore the mercy manifestation of the Supreme Person. So the spiritual master is considered as the merciful incarnation of the Supreme Lord. The conditioned soul has to take direct instruction from the spiritual master. So it is our duty to actually hear. We should approach the spiritual master and we should actually hear from him and we should try to follow his instructions. So it gradually becomes enlightened to the path of Krishna consciousness. Automatically, it elevates that person to the highest level, the Krishna consciousness. The seed of Krishna consciousness is sown within the heart of the conditioned soul. And when one hears instruction from the spiritual master, the seed fructifies and one is blessed. So by approaching the spiritual master, by actually accepting Diksha from him, then automatically the seed is actually sown into the heart of that conditioned soul. So once the seed is sown, and if you are by perfectly following his instructions, by doing our sadhanas, it automatically fructifies and it will lead to the highest stage. So the importance of spiritual master is clearly mentioned in the purport. So without the mercy of the spiritual master, one cannot get the real knowledge, one cannot advance in the spiritual life. And he is actually the authorized representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay. So if you want to get the mercy of the Lord, first we should get the mercy of the spiritual master. So that is important. The Lord's mercy will flow through the transparent media of the spiritual master. So the importance of spiritual master is nicely mentioned in this purport. Okay. So any other points, any questions related to today's discussion? Matajis, Prabhus?
Yes,
Hare Krishna,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Yeah, Mataji. So any additional points? Any realization?
Mataji, even now, when we are speaking about Krishna consciousness, we are chanting the holy name and we are following the regulative principle, like getting up early in the morning. That is the main thing. For that itself, many people in like our own relatives, they all start saying, who is looking after all this? Who is there doing all this in this era? In this generation, who is praying God like this, getting up early in the morning at 4 o'clock for Mangalarti and all that. And they will tease us, they will criticize us, they will say, see, next life, we will say we want to go back to Godhead and all that. They will say, well, do you know what is going to happen really after death? All this, do you believe and all that? They will not agree to what we are saying. We will say after death, we will go back to Godhead. We will not come back to this world of misery and we are going to live peacefully after death. So they will say, now we will live peacefully, sleep and get up late in the morning. Why are you struggling getting up early in the morning? And always we are doing all this chanting and all that. Always you're praying God. Like this only people in surrounding us always criticize us, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah, actually, when we are in the sophisticated condition, we won't realize the God. In Kunti Devi prayers, Janmaishwarya Shruta Shrivir Yedamana Matak Puman. When we don't face any difficulties in our life, when we are not facing any difficulties, that is actually misfortune for a person. Because whenever we are facing any trouble, that trouble or that situation will make a person to think about the Lord. The purpose of the life is clearly mentioned in the Shastras that we should actually think about the Lord. We should try to get our real position. Whatever we are actually doing here, it is not our real position. Our eternal relationship with the Lord should be revived. That is the purpose of this human life. Manishya Janame Paya Radha Krishna Nabajiya Janiya Suniya Vishakainu. If we are not actually accepting the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, if we are not doing devotional service of the Lord, then simply knowingly we are drinking the poison. This is slow poison. So unknowingly or knowingly, we can say in the both way. So those who are actually leading the comfort, because they are in the comfort zone, they didn't get a chance to actually realize about this devotional service. This devotional service is very powerful, that it purifies our past karma. See, here we are actually seeing that King Anga's, even though King Anga was a very great devotee of the Lord, but because of his past karma, he couldn't get a son. Okay, when we achieved everything, then our mind will be very much puffed up. We are actually thinking that why we have to worship the Lord, why we have to unnecessarily waste our life taking this austerity and all. So this is actually, we are simply wasting our life. When we are facing the problem, till our good karma is there, we will enjoy all this life. Once our karma is over, when we face any difficulty or when we face any challenges, then automatically our mind will actually think about the solution. Oh, what to do, how to come out from this. As the atheists say, simply by our own endeavor, we cannot come out from that. So in the Bhagavad Gita, out of the 5 main subjects, which one is the topmost? The changeable one, the karma. So since our good karma remains, the balance is there, we will get the comfort zone. Our relatives are very much actually very pleasant atmosphere will be there, and we will get everything, economic development, everything will be there. Once the karma is over, even in this life, we don't know when we will get the problem.
Thank you, Mataji. Actually, today's class, no, when these many criticizing comes, we will not have strong points to argue with them. Today's class, we learned so many things. What is the benefit of being a devotee, and what is the difference between the benefits an atheist get and theist get, and all that. Today's class, we got so many information, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji, for your explanation. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Yeah, Sindhumaji, do you want to say anything?
Yes, Mataji. The purport of this we read, no, Mataji. Like, in spite of having rich parents, children are unhappy. In spite of the very good medicine department, everything, the physician is not feeling well. So we are seeing like day to day, we are facing all these things, Mataji. So it's very beautifully given in the purport, actually. So as Mataji said, the benefits of being a devotee. So I think if we are devoted, we'll definitely come out of.
When all these things are happening around us, those who are very much in this material mode, they won't actually realize it. When we face it, personally, if we face it, then the realization will come. That's what, till we are in that comfort zone, we won't get that realization. Okay. So that is actually the unfortunate situation. Those who are facing the problem, they are actually fortunate, because through that situation, they will realize the God. Shipram Bhavati Dharmatma. They will realize the God actually immediately. So anyway, the situation, yeah. The favorable situation means actually that situation will help us to elevate our position, will help us to come to the real knowledge, will help us to advance to get the perfect destination. That is the favorable situation. But generally, the people, we are thinking that favorable situation means all our desires should be fulfilled.
Yeah, exactly, Mataji. If not, we
So,
feel very sad and
yeah. So that's
one
what
more
I'm
point
saying.
of yeah,
Yeah.
but sometimes one has sufficient food, but he's not at all happy. Like that, we saw the dualities, no, Mataji, in the purport. That was
Yes.
really nice.
Yes. Yeah.
One another person, he's not at all economically well, but he has the very good opportunity for sense gratification. Like that, Prabhupada has mentioned. So
Yeah.
practical.
Yeah.
But why is it? I mean, grass on the other side, that same proverb, I think. Grass on the other side, we are not satisfied with what we have, basically.
No,
So,
because that's what, if we don't have the real understanding of our life, then it won't happen, Mataji. The real understanding is we should know that this world is temporary. Whatever we are getting is temporary. If we know that this is temporary, then we will actually think about the
yeah.
permanent solution. But now we are thinking that whatever we are enjoying, there is no guarantee that whether we will use all these facilities throughout our life.
Yeah,
There's no
yeah,
guarantee
yes.
at all. But still the people have a belief that, oh, I can manage my life like this
Yeah,
only, or higher
yeah.
than this. That's
Yes,
why.
Mataji. Yeah, sure. Yes, Mataji. Got it, Mataji. So we have to just maximum, we have to reduce our desires and we have to use it for the service of the Lord.
Yeah, actually, that's what that we need not to try to reduce our desire, Maraji. The only mood should be we should do lot of devotional service, because the devotional service has such a power that automatically it will annihilate the unwanted desires. It will
Yes.
uproot our unwanted anarthas. So it has the pure devotional service has such a power. So Shunvatam Swagata Krishnaha Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Hridayandasto hi Abhadrani Vidinoti Sukrit Sada. Simply we have to hear. Shravanam is very important. Kirtanam is very important. So these two things are the basic things recommended in the Shastras. Simply for following these two things in our life, automatically the unwanted things, the whatever the thoughts, the actions, everything will be changed automatically. We need not actually artificially try to get out from that. By your own endeavor, nothing will work out. Okay. So, thank you
Yes,
so
Thank you
much.
so much, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all for your patience. So, with your permission, shall we end our class? Thank you, Madajis. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you,
Hare Krishna.
Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Pranams.